What's up, guys? Now, back in high school, I had this ceramics teacher, and I asked him one time, "Has he ever watched the Batman animated series when you were a kid, or were you in my age?" And he said, "Yeah," because he loved it, because that was his childhood. And I asked him what's his favorite supervillain of Batman, of course, and he said no other than Edward Nigma, aka the Riddler. Why? Because he loves solving puzzles. From what he told me, he said he loves solving puzzles and riddles. He loves riddles, and I can't. And he also gave me a riddle, and I don't even remember what what the riddle was, but it had something to do with an egg. And for those of you guys who have been asking me, Rodolfo, is the Joker your favorite Batman supervillain? And I said no. And obviously throughout the whole years, Batman has the Joker as his arch nemesis, like the biggest threat. But today's video, I will be explaining to you guys why. No, for judging today's title and thumbnail, no, the Joker's not my favorite supervillain. My favorite Batman supervillain is no other than Dr. Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow. Now, for those of you guys who are wondering, who the hell is the Scarecrow? Now, if you guys know me personally, I'm not the type of guy who says words and explains why the Scarecrow is my favorite Batman supervillain. No, actions speak louder than words. We all know that. So I gathered up a piece of information from the book, aka, well, the book, from the secret book. And I saw this video. So, with that being said, let's get right down to it. And let's go.
Our story begins in Georgia, at the Keeney family mansion. Karen Keeney had just given birth to her son. Since the infant was born out of wedlock, Mary saw that her granddaughter was unfit to raise or even name her own child. The young boy was named Jonathan Crane and taken under his grandmother's care. She raised Jonathan under her extremely religious beliefs and strict customs. For most of Jonathan's time, he was constantly forced to work in the cornfield. The young boy was tormented physically, emotionally, and was barely fed. At school, Jonathan had no friends and was relentlessly bullied for his slender appearance.
That's fucked up.
When Jonathan disobeyed his grandmother, he was subjected to a very disturbing punishment. He was dressed in a suit and locked in the abandoned family chapel.
Please, Grandmother, please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
In the cold and dark, he was frequently attacked by ravenous crows.
Please, Grandmother, I'm sorry. Let me out, please.
Sometime later, he snuck out of his room and found something unnerving. He witnessed how his grandmother was able to frequently lure crows to their land. She would drip the blood of dead animals on objects, including the suit he was forced to wear during his punishments. Sometime later, Jonathan entered the one room in the mansion that was forbidden. Inside he discovered a library, so he snuck books on psychology, science, and chemistry. After several years of torture and torment, Jonathan became fascinated with psychology and the science behind inducing fear. Jonathan then plotted his revenge against the other children at school. Sick of living in fear of his grandmother, he vowed to seek revenge against her as well.
What the fuck?
Jonathan soon locked her inside the family chapel, where she was brutally attacked by crows and left for dead.
He killed his family member.
Years later, Jonathan was on the path to becoming a highly regarded professor of psychology. He was trained by Professor Pigeon and was considered his best and most promising student. Around this time, Crane also worked as an intern at a psychiatric clinic, where he was left in charge of multiple patients. During one of Jonathan's lectures, he begins to lecture on the mechanisms of fear and anxiety. He then shocks all of the students by pulling out a gun and firing it in the classroom. After a unanimous vote, Crane was then fired from his position at the university. This made Jonathan furious, and he blamed his professor for his termination. For years, Jonathan became obsessed with his professor and would constantly stalk him. Every time the professor would move to a new position, Jonathan would follow, eventually leading him into Gotham City. Years later, there was a mystery unfolding in Gotham City. A killer was on the loose, and the victims were horrified and claimed they saw a scarecrow. As Batman and Robin continued their investigation, Jonathan had plans of his own. Crane had developed a unique toxin to violently induce unbearable fear within the patient. This chemical mixture was designed to activate the deepest fears and make the victim nearly immobilized with terror. Since Crane was a licensed psychiatrist, he began experimenting on college students. Some of his patients would have lasting trauma and develop severe mental conditions. He soon gave Dr. Pigeon a visit, determined to make him feel the power of fear. After a long talk, Jonathan was easily able to traumatize his professor, and this gave him a twisted new purpose. He was now determined to make everyone suffer from the power of fear. He made a costume based on the novel Sleepy Hollow, and he was now to be known as Scarecrow. Eventually, Batman discovered a clue that led him to the abandoned Keeney mansion in Georgia. As they continue to unravel this mystery, they soon discover a human skull belonging to Mary Keeney. Scarecrow soon paid a visit to his father Gerald Crane. He was disgusted with his father since he abandoned him as a child. Scarecrow tied his father to a chair, suspended him over the edge of a building, and began to torture him. then pushes his father to his death, but he is saved by something in the shadows. Batman and Robin are able to save Gerald, but are exposed to Scarecrow's powerful toxin. They are quickly overcome by complete terror as Scarecrow gets away.
Are the product of everything you fear. Violence, darkness,
Okay. I'm going to stop right there. Now, I'm really going to stop right there because my computer's about to die. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Like, you guys let me know in the comments down below. Smash the subscribe button. Turn on your post notifications. Hit the bell button on. In life, there are winners and losers like Dr. Jonathan Crane. And I'll see you guys on the next video. In life, there are winners and losers. I'm out of here. Be jealous.